Streaming on clickorlando.com, you're watching News 6 at 7 a.m.
Surge of big-time tropical moisture will be moving into parts of central Florida for the next couple of days. This area of low pressure also catching the attention of the National Hurricane Center. We'll be breaking it all down coming up in minutes.
The man accused of sexually abusing and killing a 13-year-old girl due back in court in just hours. The motions filed by Stephan Sterns' lawyers just days before his first trial.
And plans for a permanent memorial at Pulse set to take a big step forward. What Orlando City leaders are set to vote on today when it comes to the project. Good morning on your Monday. It is 7 o'clock. I'm Julie Broughton.
I'm Justin Mormouth. Trooper Steve, keeping an eye on those roads, and Chief Meteorologist Candace Campos with their forecast on this weather alert day, Candace.
I love alliteration.
Yes.
Soaking rain, sweltering heat.
Okay.
Soaking and sweltering. That's going to be the kind of the combo of the two for today. If you're not seeing the rain, you're going to be seeing the heat. Feels like temperature today up to about 107, close to 110 in some locations. Now, the culprit for all this is an area of low pressure where that little X is there on your screen. And the reason why we have it as an X is because that is where that area of low pressure could start to gain tropical formation over the next couple of days. Now, it won't as it moves over central Florida, but it certainly will have an opportunity as it moves into the very warm waters of the Gulf. That is why the National Hurricane Center is keeping close tabs on it, giving a 30% chance of possible development in the next 7 days. Now, this area of low pressure, which is still over the Atlantic, will possibly kind of regain some intensity here with more tropical characteristics. Could it get a name? At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter to us here in central Florida. This could be more of an issue for the Panhandle, parts of Alabama, Louisiana, as we head into the latter part of the work week. Locally here, though, we're still talking about some pretty heavy downpours. Notice that the overall trend is from north to south. That's all thanks to that low that will continue to wrap around plenty of moisture. Rain chances today up to 80%. We'll be talking about the flooding threat also in the forecast coming up in just a little bit. Now let's check on those roadways. Some of them are still pretty soggy from overnight rain, Steve.
What was the words you're sweltering?
Soaking and sweltering.
Soaking, sweltering. I was hoping it was like soggy and swampy.
Okay, that too.
Like all those fun stuff.
That one too. I can add that.
It's just so gross though out there. I just stepped outside and it's like right on your face. Be careful as you're cruising out there. This morning, nothing to report to you. We're doing really well. So I can show you, I'm standing right in front of the drive times there. In the green still on 528, even out here in Seminole County, where at this hour we normally see a westbound delay. Look at that. Nice and cruising pretty good. For now, they are showing, let's see what the sign says, congestion ahead about 2 miles. So what does that say? As you get closer to 436, 434 area, you'll run into a brief slowdown, but still from Sanford to downtown, 16 minutes. Guys, back to you.
Thank you, Steve. The man accused of raping and killing 13-year-old Madeline Soto is due back in court this morning. Stephan Sterns' defense team is set to make 2 key requests just days before the scheduled start of his first trial. News 6's Mark Lehman live outside the Osceola County Courthouse this morning. So what are they asking the judge to consider today, Mark?
Well, the defense wants Sterns to be able to appear in court without handcuffs for his trial, and they're also asking to limit media coverage in this case. This could be one of the final hearings in the sexual abuse case before it goes to trial next week. Today, attorneys for Stephan Sterns will be back in court as they're preparing for his trial on sexual abuse charges next week. The hearing is focusing on 2 motions, a request for Sterns to appear in court without restraints and a motion regarding media coverage of the trial. This is the second hearing this month for Sterns, who is accused of sexually abusing and killing 13-year-old Madeline Soto in February 2024. The defense previously requested evidence found on Sterns' phone to be dismissed.
And what was your understanding, if any, as to what they were going to do with it?
They were just going to check my Google Maps and check to see if I was logged into Google, and that was it. That was all I agreed to.
That request was denied, meaning images and videos found on the phone will be allowed during the trial. Sterns is facing 2 separate criminal cases. One is focused on the murder of Soto and set to begin later this year. The other surrounds 60 counts of sexual battery and child abuse. Sterns waived his appearance at his last hearing earlier this month, and at this point it's unclear if he will appear before a judge today. That hearing gets underway at 9 this morning. We'll be in the courtroom and keep you updated with what happens. For now, reporting live in Osceola County, Mark Lehman, News 6.
Mark, thank you. This morning, we're waiting to find out if anyone is facing charges after an 8-year-old boy was run over and killed in Seminole County. This happened Saturday night at a home along Orange Boulevard. Investigators say a man was backing out of the driveway and didn't see the little boy behind him. The driver ended up rushing the boy to the hospital himself, where he died from his injuries. Meantime, in Brevard County, a woman is recovering as troopers work to track down the driver responsible for hitting her and then leaving. Take a look at this video from FHP. The 55-year-old was walking along Arabella Lane near Barclay Drive in Port St. John just before 7 o'clock Saturday when she was hit by a light-colored Honda Accord, likely a 2004 to 2008 model. The car is believed to have damage to the front right bumper and passenger side mirror. If you know anything, you can call the Highway Patrol or leave an anonymous tip through Crime Line at 800-423-TIPS. Happening today, plans to build a permanent memorial at Pulse nightclub are set to take a big step forward.
Yeah, Orlando commissioners are set to take 2 big votes when it comes to the project, including the formal selection of the construction company that's going to make it happen.
News 6's Angie Quesada is live outside Pulse this morning with what we can expect in just hours. Angie.
Hey, good morning, guys. That's right. This memorial has been years in the making, and today city leaders can approve 2 critical pieces to the puzzle, and one of them is buying the property that's just right next door and selecting the company that would build this lasting tribute to the victims. After nearly a decade of delays, the city of Orlando is taking 2 major steps toward a permanent Pulse memorial. The city council is expected to sign off on a $1 million purchase of the 2 properties next to the Pulse site. Right now, one is a closed radiology office, the other a car stereo and window tinting shop. Commissioners are also set to formally pick Gomez Construction as the firm that will design and build the memorial. Mayor Buddy Dyer sending News 6 the statement, saying Gomez will take the concept developed by the advisory committee, transform it into a detailed design, and construct the memorial by the end of 2027. It's something many have waited years to hear.
It's still something that is so fresh and real to so many people here in Orlando, and we've lost, 49 precious lives that I don't think that feeling ever changes for anyone. As a location and a business that is a safe space.
I hope that it brings a lot more of the community together and empowers a lot more of the LGBT to feel safer, I should say, and more accepted in Orlando.
Now, city leaders say these steps mark a turning point after Orlando stepped in and bought the property in 2023 with the goal of honoring the 49 Angels, survivors, and the entire community. Reporting live in Orlando, Angie Quesada, News 6.
Thank you, Angie. A group of Florida lawmakers got an up-close look at Alligator Alcatraz in the Everglades, but they're giving very different descriptions of what they saw inside. State emergency managers opened up the facility for illegal immigrants to the special tours on Saturday. It comes after one group of Democratic lawmakers was turned away days earlier. They condemned the facility after getting inside, saying it's crowded and unsanitary, but Republicans who went on that same tour said they saw nothing of the sort.
The conditions that we saw inside this internment camp, which it is nothing less than that description, were really appalling.
That the rhetoric does not match the reality from what you guys have been hearing. The idea that the detainees are in there and they're in squalid conditions is just not accurate.
Now, state Democrats are suing over their earlier denial of access to the facility. A spokesperson for Governor DeSantis called that lawsuit, quote, dumb.
Rescue teams in Central Texas are hoping to restart the search for flood victims today. The search was put on hold after more heavy rain moved through the area yesterday, triggering new flash flood warnings. CBS News' Bradley Blackburn has the latest on recovery efforts.
Little more than a week after deadly floods hit Central Texas, a slow-moving storm dumped even more rain there over the weekend. It pushed rivers past their limits. Residents rushed out of the way.
Just kind of like, uh-oh, here it comes again.
And search crews were forced to stand down.
We'll probably end up not being able to do anything today and just try to get back at it in the morning.
More than 12,000 volunteers have now arrived to help with reconstruction and recovery. While at least 132 fatalities have been confirmed, more than 160 people are still missing. All across the state, green ribbons tied to trees honor the victims. And in Kerrville, flower shops are promising free arrangements for funerals.
Every single person in this community is helping out in the flood relief in some way.
On Face the Nation Sunday, Democratic Senator Maria Cantwell called for close scrutiny of federal weather forecasting.
We as a nation shouldn't be second to Europe or anybody in being a weather-ready nation. We should be the smartest government in the world, using technology, analyzing the data, and putting a forecast system into place.
And in Texas, they are mourning and healing. In Houston, hundreds stood along a procession for 12-year-old Shiloh Wilson, who was swept away from a campground with his parents.
It just breaks my heart that you just don't have a chance to say goodbye.
So many goodbyes as a long recovery begins. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
And News 6 and our parent company, Graham Media, are teaming up to help raise money for the victims of the Texas flooding.
You can use your cell phone right now to scan this QR code. It will take you to our fundraising page for the Salvation Army of Texas. We also have a link for you right now on clickorlando.com. Turning back to our forecast now, we had some pretty strong thunderstorms last night, but the concern today isn't necessarily strong storms, but it is a weather alert day.
Yeah, weather alert day because of the flooding potential. And also kind of one thing that maybe many of us aren't thinking about is how hot it's going to be feeling later on today, because we have all this tropical moisture in the air, and that's going to really trap that heat. So it feels like temperatures could get close to 107 up to about 110 in some locations if you don't see the rain. Now, a big portion of Central Florida will be seeing some sort of rain today as an area of low pressure, not tropical yet, will be crisscrossing the state, moving into the Gulf later on this week. But as it does so, all the tropical moisture associated with it will be moving overhead, fueling for more scattered showers and some heavier downpours. Right now, the radar, not too bad at this point in time. We are still seeing some moderate to heavy rain there right along 95 Oak Hill down through Mims. And overall, this motion of the rain and storms today is going to be very similar to yesterday, north to south, all around that spin of that low. A little further north in Palm Coast, Flagler Beach, Crescent City, Pearson, also seeing some light to moderate rain. Now, rain chances are going to be on the rise over the next couple of hours, up to about an 80% chance for rain today. Another round of that will be expected on Tuesday, along with those very hot temperatures closing in on heat advisory kind of threshold there, feeling like 106 to 107 degrees this afternoon. We'll have more details on the timing of the rain and a look at how this low could possibly develop coming up in just a bit. Now let's check on those roadways. Again, the roads are a little bit slick from all that overnight rain we had, Steve.
Yeah, you can start to kind of see the shine over there, but you know, for the most part, we're doing really nice out here. So average slowdowns now starting out here by the attractions. I'm talking I-4 eastbound. What is this? Going to be 536 out there, close to US 192, headed towards Orange County. Please be careful. A bumper to bumper, no crash to give you, but if you follow too closely, someone stops, then we have a problem. Southbound Florida Turnpike right now, we do have some delays out here over by right before 192. Off to the right-hand side, there's going to be a crash there. No lanes are blocked, but people just slowing down, doing what they're supposed to, so just be cautious. Outside of that, up towards Volusia, I-4, east and westbound, all yours. Guys, back to you.
Thank you, Steve. 7:13 coming up, the latest all-private space mission preparing to come home.
Plus, a local city considering a crackdown on yard sales, where new restrictions could soon be in place and why some say the change is needed.
First, though, a man goes on a deadly rampage, killing 2 women outside of a church and injuring a trooper. What investigators are working to learn this morning. You're watching News 6 Mornings. We'll be right back. All right, now we're going to take a live look from orbit. The astronauts on board the latest all-private mission to the International Space Station getting ready to head home. The hatch closed on the SpaceX Dragon capsule with the Axiom 4 inside. This is happening. It's a very fluid situation. Now the crew is undocking and about ready to head home. So there's another live look at the astronauts as they get all tucked in there for their nice little travel back to gravity and the States. They're going to land off the coast of California. Those 4 astronauts, including NASA veteran Peggy Whitson, have been at the ISS since June 26 following a launch from our coast. They have taken part in several experiments, and they're bringing back nearly 600 pounds of cargo. Splashdown planned off the coast of California. At this point, we don't know exactly what time that will happen, but we will certainly keep you posted. This morning, shock and heartbreak is settling in across a community in Lexington, Kentucky after a gunman's deadly rampage left 2 women dead and a state trooper in the hospital. The violence unfolded yesterday near Bluegrass Airport. Investigators say a trooper pulled over a driver for a traffic stop when they were shot. They say that man then ran off, stole another car before driving to a Baptist church and opening fire during a morning gathering. 2 women were killed. 2 men were injured, one of them critically. Officers shot and killed the gunman at the scene. So far, his name has not been released. We're told the trooper is stable at the hospital.
A Brevard County man could be among the first in the state charged under a tough new speeding law. Deputies say 30-year-old Ryan Samoya was clocked at 106 miles per hour in a 45-mile-an-hour zone along the O'Galley Causeway. He was also driving with a suspended license. He was arrested thanks to a newly passed law that makes extreme speeding an arrestable offense. He walked free yesterday, though, after posting a $500 bond.
Now to a live look at our roads as a big campaign returns to try and get drivers like that previous one to just slow down. Florida Highway Patrol, the Department of Transportation, and all our local law enforcement are really all taking part in what they call Operation Southern Slowdown. This is actually happening across the southeast portions of the United States, part of an effort to reduce speed-related crashes. Now they're having a special kickoff event later this morning in Daytona Beach, and our Volusia County community correspondent Molly Reed will be there with more.
All right, Steve, thank you. And all right, are you thinking about holding a garage sale to maybe clear out some of that clutter? Well, in Tavares, you may soon be limited on how often you can do that. City leaders are considering a new ordinance that would cap garage or yard sales to 4 a year, 1 every 3 months, and require a free online permit. They say it's not about restricting occasional sales, but addressing complaints about residents holding them every weekend or even daily.
Do you see an issue with that? Maybe having them every single day or every couple of days?
So with that, like if somebody's doing it like, you know, back and forth, like out of their house, you know, I could see maybe wanting a permit for something like that because it's more of like a small business as opposed to a garage sale.
I've met great friends, I've networked, I've gotten jobs just from having a yard sale and meeting someone. The price of food and everything went up. I mean, everybody needs passive money. So I don't see how a yard sale, having a yard sale once a week is affecting anyone.
The City Council is expected to discuss the ordinance in an upcoming meeting.
Trending this morning, Tijuana, Mexico has set a new Guinness World Record. A group got together to create the world's largest margarita. It took more than 9,000 gallons of the popular cocktail to make this. You see it there. This record-breaking event was part of Tijuana's 136th anniversary celebrations.
So 4 straws for the morning show.
I think we need a little bit more help.
Yeah, way more help, right?
Way more help. I mean, we could put them down.
Why not?
Just kidding.
Yes, we can.
But I wonder how much, I want to know the details of that, like how many ounces, well, not ounces, gallons of tequila that they had.
I don't think it was top shelf.
Yeah, definitely not.
Just a hunch there. Not sure it was top shelf tequila, not sure it was made with real limes either. But
I'm sure we can find it all.
Gives me a headache just thinking about it.
It does. Yeah, it's the kind of mix up. Ooh, buddy. All right.
Salt or sugar on the rim? Salt or sugar?
Oh, we got to go salt.
Yeah.
Salt rocks.
Sometimes they ask me salt or sugar. I think
if
it's always a
tahine's
joke.
available, I'll do tahine.
I'll add tahine.
Oh, that sounds good.
For a spicy?
Interesting one.
Yeah.
That sounds
Right.
good. Make sure you're staying hydrated. Speaking of, I don't mean with Margarita. I actually mean, beneficial water.
Why not?
Even though we're going to be dodging some tropical downpours, we're going to have some cloud cover. There's so much tropical air that it is going to make those temperatures feel even hotter. By the way, we are closing in on heat advisory status. I think if at the end of the day we feel a little hotter than the typical 105, 107, we get beyond that, we could get that triggered across Central Florida. So let's talk about Monday and Tuesday. We are talking about tropical downpours, rounds of rain possible. That doesn't mean it's going to be an all-day event, and that doesn't mean that everyone is guaranteed those downpours. The coast, I think your best chance for rain is actually right now, and then the threat pushes further inland into the afternoon. Then as we head into the latter part of the work week, we are looking at a kind of a typical weather setup as we head into the next couple of days, because we are going to see overall more of those sea breeze storms come back to play. With this area of low pressure, it's catching a lot of attention across the area, especially across the Gulf, because there will be that potential that this low develops into something more. So let's kind of widen out the view. Let's talk about what low we're talking about right now. Currently, it's over the Atlantic. It's going to cross over Florida between today, tomorrow, exiting by about Wednesday. And as it moves into the Gulf, there's plenty of warm air, warm waters, and plenty of moist air to potentially develop it into something further. But by the time it moves into the Gulf, it's not going to be our concern anymore. That's where all eyes will be more towards Louisiana, Alabama, even possibly the Panhandle, as right now the development isn't a guarantee right now. Neither is the track. So that is why there's a broad area here that the National Hurricane Center is highlighting, giving it a 10% chance in the next 2 days, a 30% in the next 7 that we could get our next named storm. Regardless of what happens in the Gulf later on this week, the next couple of days will be kind of soggy and pretty hot. As you see, by about noon this afternoon, we'll see those heavier downpours. I do think it's going to be more of a concern from I-4 west for today with those heavy downpours. And then as we head into Tuesday, notice there's a spin going on in the atmosphere. That's that low that will be moving onshore. It's not going to be a named storm or anything by that point, but it will be still producing some pretty heavy downpours at times. And then we'll start turning more of a typical setup by the end of the week. So as we take here hour by hour, 92 will be your high, but it will be feeling over 107 degrees at times this afternoon. Between now and the end of the week, it looks like we could rack up some significant rainfall, but like I was talking about, I think it's really going to be western heavy, so we could rack up 3 to 5 inches of rainfall when it's all said and done across some of our counties. As we get results here, your full 7-day forecast, decent chance for rain over the next couple of days. We, of course, will be watching the Gulf, though, closely. Back to you guys.
Candace, thank you. Straight ahead, with less than a month until the new school year, local districts are looking for some help.
Up next, the hiring event that's happening in Brevard County.
And at the bottom of the hour, crooks pretending to be employees from your bank, how it cost one local man, and what you can do to avoid becoming a victim.
A health alert that may motivate you to get in the gym. A new study reveals long-term obesity could make young people age faster than normal. This study out of Chile looked at adults ages 28 to 31 who had persistent obesity and found that many markers associated with biological aging were accelerated anywhere from 15 to 48% compared to people who were not obese. Researchers say there is concern that these signs of aging could raise the risk of several chronic health issues. New this morning, the price of a Forever stamp is now increasing by a nickel from 73 to 78 cents. It's been steadily climbing since the cost was 41 cents when the USPS first introduced them in 2007. Now, the Postal Service contends that it is needed to achieve financial stability. A former U.S. Postmaster General previously warned postal customers to get used to uncomfortable rate hikes as the Postal Service seeks to become self-sufficient.
School for most of Central Florida is less than a month away, and now Brevard County is looking for crossing guards. The district is hosting a hiring event tomorrow at Port St. John Library and Wednesday at Suntree Library. The event is from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. both days. Crossing guards would be part-time, working 5 days a week for 2 hours. For more information, you can visit the Brevard County Human Resources page.
Still ahead, criminals impersonating bank employees trying to get your money, what you need to know to avoid getting scammed.
Plus, rumors of an underground tunnel making your commute easier on I-Drive. Up next, to look at if there's any truth to that.
And the man accused of killing 13-year-old Madeline Soto heading back to court. What his lawyers are requesting just days before his first trial.
Streaming on clickorlando.com and broadcasting live, you're watching News 6.
Good morning, Central Florida. I'm Chief Meteorologist Candace Campos. We are watching an area of low pressure that will be moving in along the coast for the next couple of days. It's going to continue to spiral in tropical downpours at times. We're going to see another round of it on Tuesday as well. So as we take it here hour by hour, big rain is in the forecast. Feeling, though, like 107 degrees at times. Again, that tropical low will have the potential becoming more tropical as it moves into the Gulf, which is why the National Hurricane Center is watching it closely. Regardless, though, looking at a good chance for rain for the next few days, Steve.
When you say that 107, makes people want to put ice in their coffee this morning, right off the bat, right? Nice and easy out there this morning, please. We're starting to see those delays eastbound I-4 out by the attractions, right around our 60 to 70 mile marker, all the 535 Osceola Parkway. No crash out there. I am watching a minor crash, though, southbound along the turnpike as you approach 192, not causing too much delay, the routine northbound delay. Now just starting to settle in out there. Outside of that, we look great. Seminole County I-4 clear. The news continues next. Remember, get updates on any of our big stories anytime. ClickOrlando.com.
Streaming on ClickOrlando.com and broadcasting live, you're watching News 6.
Time now is 7:30 on your Monday.
Let's get a check of our top stories. It is a weather alert day. We've got another round of heavy rain and storms on the way, all as we wait to see if something more could potentially develop. Candace will have your full forecast in moments.
The man accused of raping and killing 13-year-old Madeline Soto is due back in court for a hearing this morning. His lawyers have filed some new motions ahead of jury selection in his first trial, which is now a little more than a week away.
And today, leaders in Orlando are set to formally pick a company that will build the permanent memorial at Pulse. They're also set to spend $1 million to buy 2 pieces of land right next to the nightclub.
Turning back to your weather now with high rain chances as we start our work week.
Yeah, weather alert day, as we mentioned. Chief Meteorologist Candace Campos breaking down why today has been deemed a weather alert day. Candace.
And I do want to make a quick mention because I noticed it during our little commercial break here on News 6 Plus. The radar sweep that we're starting to see during the commercial breaks, that is not accurate. And the reason for it is because the Melbourne reporting station, the actual radar site there, was struck by lightning yesterday around 4:30. So the radar image that you're seeing during the commercial break is actually a frozen shot of when the radar went down. So I wanted to show you what the radar actually looks like right now, because again, Jacksonville and the Melbourne radar are both down. So our radar sites right now that we're relying on is Tampa at this point in time. Still picking up some scattered showers, a big cluster of lightning offshore there in Brevard County, but right now Mims, Titusville, the only spot seeing the rain. So with that being said, hopefully we'll get those radar sites back in order as they fix whatever technical issues they are now dealing with. But that low is going to crisscross the state over the next couple of days, and that's going to be surging in a lot of tropical moisture. We're going to be hearing a lot about that low over the next couple of days because although it's not tropical yet, once it exits Florida and moves into the Gulf, not a concern anymore for us, but as it moves into the very warm waters of the Gulf, it will have the potential of developing something. If it stays further out to sea, more over Texas, could be a stronger storm. If it hovers near the Big Bend, it'll be a weaker system. Only time will tell. We'll have to wait and see as we start getting more computer model runs in there. National Hurricane Center could be sending a recon aircraft in that possibly later on today before it moves on land, because they do not do reconnaissance aircrafts they don't do missions over land. It's only when they're over water. Right now, the National Hurricane Center, though, giving it a 30% chance of potential development in the next 7 days. Regardless of what it does, later on this week, it is going to be bringing us some decent rainfall totals. We could be talking about some flooding issues as well. We'll be talking about the timing of it and everything kind of in between coming up in just a bit. Now let's check on those roadways with Trooper Steve.
Things not too bad out there. Man, you're talking about that Melbourne. It even shows that, hey, even the weather places are not immune to lightning strikes. I-4, some delays right now. Eastbound over by US 192 Osceola Parkway. You can see going red out there as you approach the attractions. Be careful, please. Your drive time just a little high, not too crazy. 32 minutes, Champions Gate to downtown Orlando. Anybody who drives that frequently knows it's actually pretty good. We are seeing a slight delay out on US 192 and the turnpike this morning in Kissimmee. That earlier crash southbound that happened about 20 minutes ago cleared out, and then I-4 out here in Seminole County looking great this morning. Winter Springs, Castleberry, Altamont Springs, all clear. Guys, back to you.
Steve, thank you. Happening today, lawyers for the man accused of raping and killing 13-year-old Madeline Soto are set to be back in court.
Stephan Sterns is facing dozens of child sex abuse charges, and his trial on those charges now just days away. But his attorneys are pushing for some last-minute motions. News 6's Mark Lehman joining us live at the Osceola County Courthouse. How are prosecutors expected to argue in response to this, Mark?
Well, the state could ask the judge to keep Sterns in handcuffs, which is one of 2 motions that will be discussed today. This hearing is happening a couple weeks after a ruling involving evidence on Sterns' cell phone, which will be allowed when the case goes to trial. With just over a week before the first trial of Stephan Sterns, his attorneys are making two key requests in court today. The defense is asking a judge to allow Sterns to appear in court without handcuffs during his trial, and they've also filed a motion regarding media coverage of the proceedings. Sterns is accused of sexually abusing and killing 13-year-old Madeline Soto in February of last year. Investigators say Sterns, who was dating Soto's mother, was supposed to take the teen to school, but instead killed her and left her body in the woods.
During your contact with law enforcement, did they seize or take an item from you?
Yes, they did.
What item was that?
That would be my cell phone.
Earlier this year, the defense requested evidence on Sterns' phone to be dismissed. Sterns claimed he gave law enforcement only limited consent to search his phone, but the motion was denied after prosecutors said an audio recording showed he voluntarily handed over his phone to detectives. Now, Sterns faces two separate criminal cases. His murder trial is set to begin in September. Today's hearing surrounds 60 counts of sexual battery and child abuse. That begins next week. And the hearing this morning begins at 9 a.m. For now, reporting live in Osceola County, Mark Lehman, News 6.
Mark, thank you. New this morning, a man is dead after his truck flips into a canal near Palm Bay City Hall. Our news partners at Florida Today confirmed the driver, a man in his 50s, lost control of his pickup truck yesterday afternoon at the intersection of Malabar and Minton Roads. The car then veered off the road, rolled down a canal embankment, and landed upside down in the water. The man was rushed to Holmes Regional Medical Center, where he died. Traffic was blocked for hours as rescue crews pulled the wreckage from the canal. The cause of that crash is still under investigation.
This morning, we're pressing Orange County deputies for an update on the search for a man who went overboard on a local lake and then never resurfaced. This happened on Saturday. Deputies say the man in his 20s was out on Lake Butler when he fell off of a boat. Deputies and fire rescue were called to the scene. Fernwood Park was shut down because of the investigation. We know the park is now back open, but the sheriff's office hasn't said anything else about the man they were looking for.
We are waiting to learn the name of the man Daytona Beach police say attempted to abduct a child before being tracked down and arrested. This started on Friday at a business on International Speedway Boulevard. Witnesses say the man exposed himself and then tried to grab the child, but the child screamed, catching the attention of people nearby. Thankfully, the child was not hurt. Police say the suspect took off but was eventually arrested. Police in both Daytona Beach and Jacksonville are investigating and asking anyone with information to come forward.
An Orange City preschool teacher accused of abusing a 3-year-old is now out of jail. Zeta Bayala appeared in court Saturday, where a judge ordered her release with strict conditions, including no contact with minors or the victim. Police say surveillance video shows Bayala grabbing the child by the arm and pulling her hair, causing the child to fall. The incident happened in June. The child's mother says she reported it after her daughter expressed fear about returning to school. Bayala was fired immediately. As of this morning, the school has not released a statement about the situation.
Beware of your bank reaching out to you. Crooks are impersonating bank employees and ripping off innocent victims. All new this morning, investigator Lewis Bolden speaks with an Ocala man who wants to warn others. It happened to him, and he says the crooks are convincing.
I mean, it was like they read a script to a movie. They were so good.
Bill Solinsky had recently closed 2 bank accounts because they were compromised with unauthorized transactions.
But the banks were responsible, so they refunded the money.
Shortly after, he noticed another fraudulent withdrawal and immediately contacted what he thought was his bank's emergency number.
Is this Wells Fargo security? Yes, yes. Well, I just had someone scam some money. Because you were hit before, right? I said, yeah.
They knew that.
They knew that.
The bank imposter went on to tell Solinsky once again he needed to secure his accounts.
He said, well, you know, we're going to do everything to protect you.
Through social engineering, the bank employee imposter convinced Solinsky to withdraw his money. He made 3 withdrawals, one for $10,000, another for $4,000, then another for $3,000. He withdrew $17,000 and was instructed to deposit it into a Bitcoin machine using this QR code, where he unknowingly sent it right to the criminals. According to the Federal Trade Commission, Americans lost $12.8 billion to fraud last year, and imposter scams were the 3rd highest category. If someone calls you claiming to be from your bank, hang up, call the bank yourself, or even visit a branch. Banks will almost never ask you to withdraw your money. And if anyone ever asks you to convert money to crypto, Experts say there is a very good chance it's a scam.
Lewis, I fell for hook, line, and sinker.
Remember, don't fall for the scheme, don't get ripped off, but if you do, email me at theinvestigators@wkmg.com. I'm Lewis Bolden, News 6.
Also new this morning, storms over the weekend causing damage in parts of central Florida, including in Palm Coast, where this lightning strike started a fire at an apartment complex clubhouse. Take a look at this video. Crews rushed to the Pine Lake Apartments just after 5:30 last night. They say they found the clubhouse roof fully engulfed. Despite the intense fire, no homes were damaged and no one was hurt. And it has been a soggy morning. It is a weather alert day. Chief Meteorologist Candace Campos joins us with a breakdown of what we're seeing and why today is a weather alert day.
Yeah, we are watching an area of low pressure that right now is over the Atlantic. It will take its time, but then eventually crossing over Florida, primarily over central Florida, between Monday and Tuesday, moving into the Gulf by Wednesday. Between now and then, that means we got a whole lot of tropical air and tropical moisture to get through. Right now, looking at the radar sites, we had a lightning strike hit our Melbourne, which is Melbourne radar site, which is why we are getting our information right now out of Tampa at this point in time. But still looking at some scattered showers. I do want to show that the big blow up of a lot of lightning right off the coast there of Palm Bay. Not expected to impact you guys along the coast, but just want to let you know there's a lot of lightning out there. Right now, Mims, Titusville also seeing some light to moderate rain. Now, the rain chances will be on the rise throughout the next few hours, up to about an 80% at times into the afternoon. So all that tropical moisture comes tropical downpours, and those downpours can pack a lot of rain in a very short amount of time, which is why the Storm Prediction Center is highlighting most of the area under a level 2 out of 5 for the risk of excessive rainfall. Could pick up easily 1 to 2 inches of rain just today, and then we'll tack on even more Tuesday and Wednesday. Along with that tropical moisture producing heavy downpours, it's also going to be making it feel extremely hot, as it feels like temperatures could be feeling like 106 to almost 107 area-wide. If we start feeling a little hotter than that, the National Weather Service might actually trigger a heat advisory. We'll have to wait and see. But again, we're talking about soaking rain, sweltering heat for the next 2 days. Now let's check on those roadways with Trooper Steve. He's got your latest on your traffic this morning.
Things look great out there this morning. No problems. The roadways are mildly wet, and they'll be definitely wet this afternoon. So make sure you're mentally prepared. You got the umbrella, everything you're going to need for this afternoon's commute. Right now, though, 7:41 in the morning, and we're looking good. First shot was I-4 down in Orange. Here's I-4 up in Maitland. Looking nice, east and westbound. No crazy delays yet this morning, even out here towards 434. Rest areas looking good. 46A, State Road 46, even 417 as you're headed southbound through the Sanford area. Nice and clear. Guys, back to you.
Thank you, Steve. 742, a new way to move around I-Drive could be taking shape, and it's underground.
We're talking high-speed transportation, possibly backed by Elon Musk. Coming up, the tunnel system being considered and why some commuters are hoping it becomes a reality.
Driving to work on International Drive can be a nightmare. Some spend an hour or more just to make it to work on time. But what if a tunnel underground could cut that trip to just minutes?
There's talk of a high-tech transit system coming to Orlando, and it could involve Elon Musk. Orange County community correspondent Jarrell Baker breaks down the rumored project and what it could mean for locals and tourists alike.
Mac Evans lives around 30 minutes away from his job at a local resort. But since he takes International Drive to get there, he has to leave much earlier.
I usually plan about an hour to be on the road from leaving home versus getting there to clock in.
And he's not alone.
I live, close to the Claremont area. It takes me about, 45 minutes on a good day to get to work.
But could creating this underground transportation tunnel make it easier to get around on iDrive? Rumor has it the Universal Orlando Resort and other companies might be partnering with Elon Musk's Boring Company to make this happen.
It would be a great thing for investment. It's a great thing for getting around. But just from Universal to Epic, it would be game-changing.
The project, also called The Loop, is similar to the tunnel set up in Las Vegas. Now, reports say that the system could link Epic Universe, Universal Studios, Islands of Adventure, the Convention Center, and possibly the airport.
I would love for the traffic situation to be alleviated for both the people who rely on those places for the income, but also the people who come from all over the world to experience these parks.
Critics of the idea are concerned about digging into Florida soil and how storms could impact the tunnel.
The possibility for flooding is always there. The only concerns I have would definitely be with hurricane season, but I don't think that would be a limiting factor.
We reached out to Maria Triscara from the iDrive Chamber of Commerce, who says that she's heard early stage conversations, but nothing set in stone. In a statement, she went on to say that at this point, nothing has been confirmed, but it's exciting to see concepts emerging that reflect a broader vision for the advanced and sustainable transportation. In Orlando, Jarrell Baker, News 6.
A new Senate report says that the attempted assassination of President Trump could have been prevented. It was 1 year ago yesterday when a gunman carried out the shooting during a rally in Pennsylvania. Lawmakers say the Secret Service denied repeated requests for extra staff and counter-sniper support. The report also reveals agents spotted the gunman 45 minutes before he opened fire. The bullet grazed the president's ear, ended up killing one attendee. 6 agents were suspended, but so far no one has been fired. The committee is calling for stronger discipline and major reform.
It had a change in latitude a year ago, and now a Margaritaville icon is back at Universal City Walk. News 6 was at the christening ceremony this weekend for the refurbished Hemisphere Dancer. Look how beautiful it looks. That's Jimmy Buffett's seaplane turned centerpiece. In June 2024, the plane was taken to Melbourne for a restoration and a new paint job. We spoke with Savannah Buffett about her dad's love for aviation.
He loved being a performer. He loved being on stage. He loved his fans. But he loved flying airplanes. He loved being a captain.
That sunset behind her.
Gorgeous.
The singer-songwriter was flying the plane when it was shot at by Jamaican law enforcement nearly 30 years ago, who mistakenly thought it was drug smuggling. I love that little fact, that little factoid
It's an incredible
at the
fact.
end.
Every time I hear it.
The fact that they took it to refurbish it and bring it back.
It looks
that's amazing.
gorgeous.
It looks
yes.
such a staple in that city.
It is.
Absolutely.
It is. It is. Yeah. I mean, ever since I was a kid, I remember going there and then I'm like, oh, I can't wait till I'm 21.
You're right.
So I can really put on a Jimmy Buffett hat with all the parrot heads.
Yeah.
I mean, I know all about it.
The full experience.
A full experience.
It really is.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Really cool.
I mean, and that screams Florida, doesn't it? Just all of it just screams Florida.
You're
Even
screaming Florida today, right?
You know, Florida's just being Florida on a Monday, isn't it? All right, let's talk about it. Monday and Tuesday, a whole lot of tropical moisture will continue to kind of spiral into Central Florida. And although the severe threat isn't extremely high, still kind of on the low marginal side of things, we're still looking at the flooding threat that being the biggest concern, because if we just get days and days of these tropical downpours or the same locations, we could rack up a whole lot of rain in a short amount of time. Then come later on this week, all eyes will be on the tropics, but we'll be done with the system. It's going to be back to near normal by the Thursday, Friday time frame there. Widening out the view, this is the low that we're going to be watching pretty closely over the next couple of days for tropical development. It's not going to develop until it leaves us here in Florida, just the way we like it, right? This low has a whole lot of moisture associated with it. Look at all of that big blow up of green. All that needs to make its way over the Sunshine State, and as it does so, it will fuel for more development and those heavier downpours. Right now, the radar sweep not looking too bad as of now. during the commercial break, I'm going to put that disclaimer out there for the next couple of minutes here. The radar sweep that you see during the commercial break during the streaming is not up to date. We had a lightning strike hit the radar site in Melbourne yesterday around 4:30. So the shot that you have on the radar during the commercial break, that's actually out of Melbourne, and that is actually the freeze frame of what it looked like when the radar site went down. So I want to show you right now, there's not a lot of rain expected in the next hour or two. I'm hoping that the radar site gets back up and running. Right now we're using the Tampa site in the meantime to make sure that we are tracking whatever is out there, we're tracking it well. This is the latest update. The National Hurricane Center is tracking this. It's that area of low pressure, not tropical yet, but as it moves into the Gulf, it will possibly start gaining tropical characteristics. But what could become our next named storm? If it does, the next name on the list is Dexter. Not a favorite name of mine, but there it is. Right now it has a 30% chance of potential development. Now, as that low moves over the Sunshine State, again, we will be noticing rounds of rain. This is really going to be more western heavy for this afternoon. I think the east side will stay relatively dry. And then notice that spin as that low moves onshore on Tuesday, wraps around that moisture by about 4 or 5 o'clock. Heavy downpours could be possible. But notice a lot of it's more happening from I-4 west, not so much on the eastern side of things. So whether or not you get rain or not is still going to be a hot day. It feels like temperatures will be up to about 107 degrees, although our actual temperature will be in those low 90s. Again, the rainfall, that's going to be the big concern for the next couple of days, and then we'll turn more typical with those sea breeze storms by the end of the week. Now let's check on those roadways. What you perceive?
Roads still look good this morning. 7:50 on a Monday. I-4 east and westbound out here by the Florida Turnpike. As you're headed eastbound, nice and clear, and then both directions out here in Seminole County. This is crazy. Normally at the 100-mile marker, we're seeing a huge westbound delay. Right now, nice and clear if you're getting ready to hit the road. It must be prime time vacation. A lot of you guys out of town. Sanford, good morning to you guys. City of Sanford, unincorporated portions as you head south towards Longwood, Winter Springs, all clear. Weather's good. Got to be careful. On Friday, I was with Belle Isle Police Department talking with their boater safety, their marine unit, and how they do enforcement on the Gatlin Chain of Lakes. You'd be surprised. They have a full-time marine unit in the water in less than 5 minutes in an emergency. Great team out there. Head to clickorlando.com and check that out. Guys, back to you.
Thank you, Steve. Coming up, popular weight loss drugs may be costing you muscle. What experts say could be the key to keeping your strength.
6 months after an 8-year-old was mauled to death by dogs, family members say they are waiting for justice and a charging decision could come any day. Michael Millett was killed by 2 dogs in his neighborhood, a tragedy that spurred the Pam Rock Act, toughening Florida's dangerous dog laws. The Brevard Seminole State Attorney's Office says they're close to making a charging decision after reviewing evidence and lab results, but Volusia County Sheriff Mike Chitwood says current law doesn't go far enough to hold owners accountable unless there's documented aggression.
The dogs, under the law, had either attacked somebody before or killed an animal, or there was documentation of them being aggressive. The owner could be charged with a felony to 3rd degree. If none of those things exist, then it's a misdemeanor of the 2nd degree. Somehow that does not seem right.
Officials say the victim's family will be the first to know when a decision is made.
In your health headlines, a new study is sounding a warning for people taking popular weight loss drugs. Research presented at the Endocrine Society's annual meeting shows that up to 40% of weight loss can come from lean muscle mass, not just fat. Experts say the side effect is especially present in those who take semaglutide and that adults and women face an even higher risk. Doctors say it can lead to weakness and other health issues. However, the study did find that eating more protein while taking the drug may help prevent muscle loss.
As soon as today, you can expect to pay more for ketchup, salsa, and other tomato-based foods. The U.S. is ending a 30-year-old tomato price agreement with Mexico. The move is to make way for a nearly 21% tariff on most Mexican tomato imports. That means higher prices at grocery stores and restaurants, including pizza shops. The tomato suspension agreement has been in place since 1996. Candace.
Rain chances for it today on the rise. Coverage up to about an 80%. We're going to see scattered showers developing, kind of wrapping around what will eventually become more of a tropical low. But in the meantime, though, we're looking at those heavier downpours. You can see there Monday and Tuesday, we will have a decent shot of producing some beneficial rain. Unfortunately, some of that rain, though, could turn more into flooding concerns. Our highs stay low 90s, although feeling like the triple digits, up to about 107. So even with the rain cooled air and the cloud cover, that humidity is really going to make things feel like a sauna out there. The next couple of days certainly will stay kind of soggy, turning more seasonal with those sea breeze thunderstorms returning by the end of the week, Steve.
Living down in South Florida all of a sudden. All right, so drive times. We're spiking a little bit right now. Westbound I-4 in Seminole, 22 minutes. Not crazy delays, but they're the routine ones now setting in at Lake Mary. Good thing, no crashes.
All right, thank you, Steve. Thank you for joining us. We break news on clickorlando.com.
You can also find all of our stories on our new 6 Plus app.
Hope you have a great Monday. See you tomorrow.